Welcome to today's episode. Today we are talking about canceling versus consequences. Today is episode 17 from Practical Life Confusion Points. There are 52 practical life confusion points. So Kyo is going to go through the 12 points as usual, and then we are going to go through the points. Do some drills, some grounding, the usual by now.
Stink Bomb Mode 7, live interview activated episode 17, canceling versus consequences. Let's map the field clean the 12 points we will cover. 1. Definition gap. Canceling equals social removal, exclusion. Consequences equals outcome tied to behavior. Confusion. People treat them as the same. Source of power. Canceling equals crowd, mob, platform driven. Consequences, system, reality, cause effect. Who decides? 3. Speed versus process cancellings. Instant, reactive consequences unfolds over time. Reaction versus integration. 4. Emotional driver. Canceling outrage, signaling, identity defense. Consequences, grounded evaluation. Heat versus clarified. Intent canceling. Remove person, consequences, address behavior. Person versus action. 6. Learning loop canceling shuts down learning. Consequences enables correction, freeze versus adapt. 7. Accountability distortion. Canceling pretends to be accountability but skips responsibility. Structure, performance versus function. 8. Social signaling. Canceling equals look at me being right. Equals this is what follows from actions. Status versus structure. Reversibility. Can't often permanent or unclear. Consequences can be repaired, worked through, dead end versus pathway. 10. System integrity canceling equals destabilizes trust. Consequences stabilizes systems. Chaos versus order. Targeting precision canceling are often misfires. Consequences specific and proportional blast radius versus term effect. Canceling fear, silence, fragmentation. Consequences equals clarity, boundaries, growth, suppression versus evolution. Core field translation. Canceling equals social eraser consequences. Reality feedback system. Stink bomb questions, loaded for later. Does this action help people learn or just remove them? 2. Is this about protecting a system or protecting an image? 3. Would this standard be applied fairly to everyone? Ready to go deeper. Say next and we break down point 1. Point 1. Definition gap. Canceling versus consequences, clean split. Canceling equals social removal. Person is excluded, silenced, unfollowed, banned. Happens through collective reaction, often tied to reputation damage. Focus, this person should not be here. Consequences is behavior, outcome. Action leads to a result, tied to clear cause, effect chain. Can be social, legal, relational, or practical. Focus equals this action leads to this result. Where the confusion happens. People say they face consequences, but in reality, they were socially erased without structure. Pattern breakdown. Canceling pattern. Trigger, emotional spike. Narrative spreads, group aligns. Removal happens, no consistent framework, no proportionality, no path back. Consequence pattern. Action identified, context examined, impact evaluated. Response applied, proportional, traceable, potentially repairable. Why this confusion is powerful. When canceling is labeled as consequences, it borrows legitimacy, it avoids scrutiny, it feels justified automatically. This is a language translation. Canceling equals we don't like this, remove. Consequences, this happened, this follows. Real life mini examples. Someone makes a mistake, loses job instantly from public pressure, likely canceling. Someone violates contract, gets fired per agreement, consequence. Microcheck asks, is this response linked to a clear action or to a social reaction? Ready to move. Say next for point 2. Source of power. Point 2. Source of power. Who is actually deciding? This is where the whole system flips. Canceling crowd power, driven by public reaction, amplified by social media, visibility loops. Decisions happen through pressure, not process. Authority equals whoever is loudest, fastest, most aligned power source equals momentum. Consequences, structured power, driven by systems, agreements, or reality constraints. can be legal, laws, professional, contracts, policies, relational, boundaries, authority equals predefined framework, power source equals structure. Pattern split, canceling power flow, trigger, outrage, amplification, pressure, action. No single accountable decision maker responsibility is diffused. Consequence power flow, action, evaluation, framework, decision, outcome. Clear decision maker responsibility is traceable. Critical distortion, canceling often hijacks structures. Examples, mob pressure, company fires someone. Online outrage, platform bans without clarity. Looks like official consequence, but source equals external pressure. This is outsourced authority. Why this matters when power is crowd-driven, unstable, inconsistent, emotional, hard to challenge, structure-driven, predictable, reviewable, accountable, open to correction. Field translation, canceling equals power from reaction, consequences, power from system. Reality check question, if nobody was watching, would this still happen? Yes, likely consequence. No, likely canceling. Microsignal, if outcome depends on visibility, you're in canceling territory. If outcome holds regardless of audience, you're in consequences. Clean cut, say next, point 3, speed versus process. Point 3, speed versus process. How fast does this happen and what gets skipped? Canceling equals speed, it happens immediately. Driven by emotional spike plus virality, rewards first reaction, not best understanding timeline, minutes, hours. Consequences equal process, evaluation mode, unfolds over time, includes review, context, verification, allows multiple perspectives, timeline is hour, days, weeks, sometimes more. Canceling breakdown, trigger, clip, headline, instant judgment, spread, action context, missing facts, incomplete, no pause. Consequence flow, event, information gathering, context, decision, outcome. Slower but grounded, includes correction loops, can adjust if wrong. The trap speed feels like clarity, but fast equals certainty illusion, slow thinking space. The brain likes fast because it reduces uncertainty. Why this matters: when systems reward speed, nuance disappears, mistakes increase, overreactions become normal. When systems allow process, better decisions, proportional responses, learning is possible. Field translation, cancel equal decide now. Consequences, understand then decide. Real life mini examples, viral clip, person loses everything within hours, canceling pattern. Investigation, outcome after review, consequence pattern. Microcheck ask, was there time to understand or just time to react? Bonus signal, if people say, we don't need more info, you're almost always in canceling mode, locked in. Point 4, emotional driver, heat vs clarity. Point 4, emotional driver. What is fueling the response? Cancel equals heat, emotional surge, outrage, disgust, moral superiority, urgency, energy, spike, spread. People feel this is wrong, act now. Consequences, clarity, regulated state, grounded attention, measured response, proportion thinking, delayed judgment. Energy equals stable plus directed, people think what happened, what fits. Canceling emotional loop. Trigger, emotion spike, group amplification, action emotion equals driver thinking equals secondary escalation, likely consequence, emotional loop, trigger, pause, regulation, evaluation, action, emotion acknowledged but not in charge, response calibrated. Critical distortion, high emotion gets mistaken for high morality, but intensity, accuracy, loud, right, fast emotion, informed judgment. Why this works on people: emotional content spreads faster. It recruits identity, good versus bad. It removes doubt, feels clear. This is why canceling scales so fast. Field translation. Canceling equals feel, act. Consequences equals feel, check, act. Real life micro examples. I'm offended, they must go. Canceling pattern. This caused harm. What is appropriate response? Consequence pattern. Microcheck ask, is this response driven by emotion or guided through it? Bonus signal, if the environment discourages. Questions, nuance, slowing down. You're in a heat system, not a clarity system. Say next. Say next. Point 5, intent, person, action. Point 5, intention vs action. What is actually being targeted? Canceling equals target the person. Identity gets labeled, reputation gets attacked, person becomes the problem frame equals you are the issue. Language often sounds like they are dangerous, they are toxic, they are this type of person. Consequences target the action. Behavior is identified, impact is evaluated, response is applied to the action frame equals this action has effects. Language sounds like this behavior caused X, this violates Y, this leads to Z outcome. Canceling intent loop. Person, label, amplify, remove identity, collapse. Person equals action, no separation, no recovery path. Consequence intent loop. Action, impact, response, adjustment. Separation, maintained behavior can change, growth remains possible. Critical distortion action. Person collapse, one moment, whole identity. Why this is powerful when you target the person. It simplifies complexity. It activates tribal thinking. It justifies extreme responses. But it destroys nuance. It blocks learning. It escalates conflict. Field translation. Canceling equals you are the problem. Consequences. This behavior has a result. Real life mini examples. You said something wrong. You're a bad person. Canceling. This statement caused harm. Here's the response. Consequence. Microcheck ask, are we addressing what happened or defining who someone is? Bonus signal. If labels replace explanations, you're in canceling mode. If explanations replace labels, you're in consequence mode. Locked. Say next. Point 6. Learning loop. Point 6. Learning loop. Freeze adapt. Does this system teach or shut down thinking? Canceling. Freeze response. People become afraid to speak. Mistakes equal social danger. Safest move, silence or conformity outcome was learning stops. Consequences. Adaptive response. Behavior, feedback, adjustment. Mistakes equals information, encourages course correction. Outcome equals learning continues. Pattern split. Canceling learning loop. Mistake, punishment, fear, silence. No clarification, no integration, no improvement. Learning loop. Mistake, feedback, reflection, adjustment. Understanding grows, behavior, improves system, evolves. Critical distortion, canceling, creates the illusion of teaching, but it teaches avoidance, not understanding. It teaches performance, not growth. It teaches fear-based compliance. That's not learning, that's conditioning. Why this matters when people feel unsafe to make mistakes. Curiosity drops, honesty disappears, thinking narrows. Safe to adjust, accountability increases, clarity improves, real change happens. Field translation, canceling, don't make mistakes or disappear. Consequences, learn from mistakes and adjust. Real life mini examples. Someone apologizes, still removed, no path forward, canceling loop. Someone corrects behavior, reintegrates consequence loop. Microcheck ask, does this response help someone improve or just make others afraid? Bonus signal, if people start saying, I won't say anything anymore, it's not worth it. Learning system has collapsed, canceling dominant. Clean. Say next. 7. Accountability distortion. Point 7. Accountability distortion. When accountability is used, but not actually happening. Canceling performance of accountability. Looks like justice, sounds like responsibility, feels morally right but lacks structure. No clear standard, no consistent process, no proportionality. Consequences equals functional accountability, tied to rules, agreements, impact, applied through defined process. Outcome is proportional plus explainable accountability equals traceable. Canceling accountability loop, call out, amplification, punishment, closure. No investigation, no calibration, no follow through, goals, signal alignment. Consequence accountability loop, action, evaluation, response, review, grounded in criteria, consistent across cases, open to correction, goal equals maintain system integrity. Critical distortion call out equals accountability, call out tie equals exposure. Accountability equals structured response. Why this is confusing. Canceling borrows accountability language. They need to be held accountable. This is consequences. But skips the mechanism that makes accountability real. Field translation, canceling, we showed it, that's enough. Consequences, we evaluated it, this follows. Real life mini examples. Trending outrage, punishment with no clarity, accountability performance. investigation, documented decision, functional accountability. Microcheck asks, can this response be explained step by step or just felt as right? Bonus signal if the process is invisible, inconsistent, changing case by case, you're in performative accountability. Say next, point 8, social signaling, status versus structure. Point 8, social signaling, status via structure. Shash, is this about being seen or about what actually works? Canceling equals status signaling. I'm on the right side. I see the problem. I'm aligned with the group. Function equals display identity rewards, visibility, agreement, belonging. Consequences equals structure signaling. This is the rule boundary. This is the outcome of the action. This is how the system holds. Function is maintain coherence, rewards that clarity, consistency, predictability. Pattern split, canceling signal loop, event reaction, public display, group alignment. Focus equals who's right. Currency equals attention plus approval. Outcome equals status gain. Event evaluation, response, stability. Focus equals what fits. Currency equals coherence function. Outcome equals system holds. Critical distortion signaling gets mistaken for solving, but showing you care, fixing the issue. Being visible, being effective. Agreement accuracy. Why this scales so fast? Humans are social. We want to belong. We avoid exclusion. We mirror group behavior. Canceling taps into this directly. Field translation. Canceling equals see me being right. Consequences, see the system working. Real life mini examples. Public post condemning someone. Gains approval, signaling. Internal process applied consistently, little visibility structure. Microcheck asks, if no one saw this, would it still be done the same way? Bonus signal, if the reward is likes, shares, approval, you're likely in status signaling. If the reward is resolution, stability, clarity, you're in structure signaling. Say neck, point 9, reversibility, dead end versus pathway. Point 9, reversibility, dead ends pathway. Is there a way back or is it over? Canceling equals dead end, unclear or impossible path to return. Criteria for coming back equals undefined outcome equals social exile. Even if apology happens, behavior changes, still no reintegration. Consequences is pathway. Clear outcome tied to action, defined steps for repair if possible. Reintegration is available when aligned outcome equals closure plus potential return. Canceling reversal loop. Mistake removal, silence. No roadmap, no resolution. No closure system stays open, tension remains. Consequence reversal loop. Mistake, response, repair, reintegration. Steps exist, expectations are clear, system closes. Critical distortion. Canceling pretends to be final justice, but leaves no learning path. Leaves no system closure. Keeps tension alive. It's not resolution, it's freeze. Why this matters when there is no way back. People hide mistakes. Defensiveness increases, honesty disappears. A clear path. Accountability becomes realistic. Repair becomes possible. System stabilized. Field translation, canceling, you're done consequences. This is what needs to happen next. Real life mini examples. Person removed permanently with no criteria canceling. Person suspended. Complete steps, returns consequence. Microcheck ask, what would it take for this person to come back? No answer canceling. Clear answer, consequences. Bonus signal. If people say there's no coming back from this, you're in dead end system. If people say here's what needs to happen next, you're in pathway system, locked. Say next. Point 10, system integrity word. Point 10, system integrity, chaos vs order. Does this strengthen the system or break trust? Canceling, chaos driver, inconsistent outcomes. Rules shift depending on mood, pressure. People don't know where the lines are, result trust erosion. People think, this could happen to anyone. There are no stable rules. Consequences is order builder. Consistent application of standards. Predictable responses. Boundaries are visible and stable, result equals trust formation. People think, I understand the system. I know what leads to what. Pattern split, canceling system loop. Event, reaction, inconsistent outcome. No baseline, no reliability, depends on attention, pressure. System becomes unpredictable. Consequence system loop. Event, framework, consistent response. Same standard applied, outcomes align with rules, stability over time, system becomes coherent. Critical distortion. Canceling feels like control, but it introduces randomness. It rewards visibility, not consistency. It destabilizes long-term trust. Short-term control, long-term chaos. Why this matters. When systems are unstable, people self-censor, fear increases, manipulation becomes easier. Stable. People can navigate clearly. Accountability improves. Conflict reduces. Field translation, canceling, rules change depending on the crowd. Consequences equals, rules hold regardless of the crowd. Real life mini examples. Two similar cases, completely different outcomes, canceling system. Same action, same response across cases, consequence system. Microcheck asks, would this be handled the same way in a different context or with a different person? Ask no, canceling pattern, yes, consequence pattern. Hash bonus signal if outcomes depend on popularity, timing, audience reaction system equals chaotic. If outcomes depend on rules, agreements, consistent standard system. Say next, point 11. Targeting precision, blast radius versus precision tool. Point 11. Targeting precision, blast radius, precision tool. Hash how accurate is the response. Canceling equals blast radius. Wide, unfocused impact. Affects the person, unrelated people, past actions, entire identity, result. Overreach damage spreads beyond the original issue. Consequences equals precision tool, targeted to the specific behavior, limited to the relevant context. Proportional to the actual impact result equals contained response. Pattern split, canceling precision loop. Issue, escalation, everything attached, removal scope. Expands unrelated elements pulled in, no boundary on impact. Consequence precision loop. Issue, define, isolate, respond. Clear scope, relevant only contained effect. Critical distortion. Canceling expands the frame, one action, whole person, one moment, whole history. Why this happens. Emotional systems prefer simplicity, easier to label everything, easier to reject entirely, avoids complex thinking, but creates collateral damage. Field translation. Canceling equals remove the whole file. Consequences, edit the specific line. Real life mini examples. Mistake, entire career erased blast radius. Mistake, specific restriction applied precision. Microcheck ask, is the response matching the exact issue or spilling beyond it? Bonus signal, if unrelated things are brought in. Past unrelated actions, identity labels, associations, you're in blast radius mode. If response stays tied to the specific action, the actual impact, you're in precision mode. Locked. Say next, long-term effect, suppression vs evolution. Point 12. Long-term effect, suppression vs create over time. Canceling equals suppression system. People hide mistakes. Expression becomes cautious. Truth gets filtered through fear. Long-term result equals silence plus fragmentation system effect. Less honesty, more performance, shallow communication. Consequences equals evolution system. Behavior adjusts through feedback. Clarity improves over time. Boundaries become understood. Long-term result equals growth plus stability system effect. More responsibility, better decisions, stronger trust. Canceling long-term loop. Fear, silence, misunderstanding, repeat issues go underground. No real resolution, tension accumulates. Consequence long-term loop. Action, feedback, adjustment, improvement systems. Refine people, learn patterns, stabilize. Canceling looks like progress, but removes visibility, not the issue. Creates avoidance, not resolution. Increases hidden errors. Suppression, solution. Why this matters when systems produce. Suppression, people disengage. Honesty drops, distrust grows. Evolution, people participate. Clarity increases. Systems become resilient. Field translation, canceling, make it disappear. Consequences, make it make sense. Real life mini examples. Issue disappears from conversation, keeps happening, suppression. Issue addressed clearly, behavior shifts, evolution. Microcheck ask, is this making the system better or just quieter? Bonus signal, if outcome is less speaking, more fear, more avoidance. Suppression system active if outcome is clearer behavior, better understanding, improved interaction, evolution system active. Ash, full field locking canceling. social reaction system driven by emotion, speed, and signaling. Consequences, structured feedback system driven by cause effect, clarity, and repair. Final stink bomb check. 1. Does this help people learn or just remove them? 2. Is this protecting a system or an image? 3. Would this be applied the same way to everyone? Stink petals rating. Canceling system 6 to 7 petals, high stink. Consequence system 0-1-7 petals. Field closed cleanly. If you want, grounding for the 12 archetypes, drills level 1 to 3, or closing advice for audience. Just say the word.
So Jim Asher comes to mind here. We already did an episode about him in the past. So I said, let's do a grounding for the 12 archetypes first. Yes, I am trying this thing. It's more for ASMR, you know. It's kind of like to speak like that, but I wanted to test it. Yes, not everybody likes that, right? Alright, so here is some grounding.
Grounding for all 12 archetypes, canceling vs consequences reset. This one is about coming back to center after heat systems. Start, drop shoulders, unclench jaw, tongue relaxed, one hand on solar plexus, slow inhale, long exhale through the mouth. Say internally or softly, I am here, I am safe. The 12 archetype grounding passes. 1. The analyst. I don't need instant answers. I can take time to understand. 2. The reactor. I can feel strongly without acting immediately. 3. The mirror. I reflect what is, not what is loud. 4. The judge. Fairness comes from clarity, not speed. 5. The connector. I can stay connected without agreeing with everything. 6. The protector. Protection includes wisdom, not just reaction. 7. The performer. I don't need to signal. I can simply be aligned. 8. The builder. I focus on what creates stability over time. The empath. I can feel others without losing my center. 10. The navigator. I look for direction, not noise. 11. The repairer. Growth is possible. Paths can reopen. 12. The architect. I see patterns without needing to control them. Field reset lines slowly repeat. Not everything needs to be removed. Some things need to be understood. Closing breath. Inhale through nose, long exhale through mouth, soften eyes. Final anchor canceling pulls you into heat consequences, bring you back to structure. You get to choose where you stand. Field calm, system online, ready for drills or J. Asher pattern breakdown next.
Take a guess. Okay, so I said let's do drills first. 3 in total. 2 message per drill. I feel an echo, but I don't know where it would be coming from, guys. I've been playing around with settings, trying to, get it to work better. So we're gonna do the drills, 3 drills, and you're gonna get the drill, and then in the next message you will get the answer. Yes, I'm being silly, because on hard days being silly helps.
Drill 1. Identify the pattern. A public figure says something controversial in an interview. Within hours, clips spread online, people demand removal. Sponsors pull out, no full context is reviewed. Question. Is this primarily A. Canceling, B. Consequences, and why? Be precise, look at speed, source of power, and process. Answers in next message.
Okay, I was just giving you a little time. Here.
Drill 1. A. Canceling. Speed. Happens within hours. No time for full context reaction. Understanding. Driven by public pressure. Sponsors react to visibility crowd momentum, not structured review. No investigation, no proportional evaluation, no clear framework. Action happens before clarity. Stink bomb translation. This is a heat system response. Fast, emotional, visibility driven. Key insight. Even if a real issue exists, the mechanism here is still canceling, not structured consequences. Clean distinction. Consequences would look like full context reviewed, clear standard applied, decision explained, micro anchor, fast crowd, no process equals canceling. Ready for next. Say next, drill 2.
Alright, we're gonna go to the next one now. Here we go.
Drill 2. Identify the pattern. Scenario. An employee repeatedly violates a clearly stated workplace policy. Over time, warnings are documented, expectations are clarified, behavior does not change. Eventually, the employee is formally terminated. The reason is explained and tied to the policy. Is this primarily A, canceling, consequences, and why? Be precise. Look at process, proportionality, and reversibility. Answers in next message.
Okay, you can always pause as well and take your time, but here is the answer.
Drill 2, answer correct answer. B, consequences. Why, process. Clear policy existed, warnings were given, expectations were explained, structured pathway was followed, proportionality. Response escalated over time. Termination came after repeated violations. Action matches behavior pattern. Reversibility, important. Opportunity to adjust was provided. Multiple chances to correct behavior pathway existed but was not taken. Stink bomb translation. This is a structure-driven response, slow, documented, traceable. Key insight, consequences. Soft, they can be severe, but they are still structured and explainable. Clean distinction. If this were canceling, instant firing, no warnings, no explanation, driven by external pressure. Micro anchor, clear rule, time, chances, was consequences. Ready. Say next, drill 3.
Alright. Are you ready for drill number 3? Let's see if it's this one. I'm hearing this echo. What about you? I still hear it, but it's not the same. Yeah, I'm testing the AI. You know, it gives you good information or not. I'm testing it on everything. Well, one of them, I don't have time to do all of it. I'm not that fast, jeez.
Drill 3. Identify the pattern. Scenario. A creator posts something harmful or misleading. Then, people call it out publicly. The creator reviews the feedback. They acknowledge the issue. They remove or correct the content. They explain what changed. Question. Is this primarily A, canceling, B, consequences, and why? Be precise. Look at learning loop, intent, and reversibility. Answers in next message.
Alright, let's see now. Are you ready? Here we go. Answer incoming.
Drill 3. Answer correct answer. B, consequences. Why? Why? Learning loop. Feedback was received. Creator reviewed plus adjusted adaptation occurred. Intent actions person. Focus stayed on the content, not on destroying the person behavior corrected, identity intact. Reversibility. Content updated or removed. Explanation given. Continued participation possible. Pathway remained open. Stink bomb translation. This is a feedback adjustment loop. Not removal, not erasure, not escalation. Key insight. Public call out canceling. It depends on what happens after. Clean distinction. Same start, different outcome. Call out, pile on, removal canceling. Call out, reflection, correction, consequences. Micro anchor feedback change equals consequences. Feel close for drills. You just practiced. Spotting speed versus process. Identifying power source. Separating person versus action. Tracking learning versus shutdown. This is pattern literacy in real time. Ready to close the episode or move into J. Asher pattern breakdown?
So I said, give a piece of advice first, one the audience could really use regarding this topic, and then we'll move on quickly, because we did already an episode on J. Asher. And again, it's not about taking sides, we're analyzing patterns here.
One piece of advice. Use this in real life. When you feel the urge to join in on a takedown, pause and switch this one question on. Am I helping clarify the issue or just helping remove a person? Why this works. It instantly separates emotion from action. It brings you out of crowd momentum. It restores your individual thinking. What to do next? Super simple. If your answer is remove the person, step back. Don't amplify. You're likely in a canceling wave. If your answer is clarify the issue, focus on the behavior, the impact, the specific point. Field shortcut. Don't add heat, add clarity. You don't have to participate in every reaction to be a responsible human. Sometimes the most responsible thing is to think before you amplify. Simple, usable, clean. Ready for J. Asher breakdown or episode close?
I said, yes, let's break that down a little for them again. We already did a little episode on that. If you're interested, go look for it. It has like a big bluish round thing at the center where the title is, and it just says the name of the person, J. Asher. I believe it was, I think it was in the Q game, or, well, here you would find it all in the same list. So just go down the list and you'll find it. If you are on any of the 2 live streams, if you are anywhere else, yeah, you have to go and look in the correct list, because on the other channels I organize them depending where you are, what platform. I organize them under different lists. That's why I have different channels. They just do different things, and I made them work together. And different platforms is because people like different platforms. So if I can, I reach, but I'm just one person. And well, yeah.
Let's slow that down. Practical breakdown. The moment this matters, you see a post blowing up, comments are heated, people are taking sides, your body feels that, I need to react. That's the moment. Step 1. Interrupt the loop. Don't type yet, don't share yet, just ask, am I helping clarify the issue or just helping remove a person? Step 2. Notice your first impulse. If your brain goes, this person is awful, they should be gone, people need to see this, you're in canceling energy. If your brain goes, what exactly happened? What part is the issue? What would a fair response be? You're in consequence thinking. Step 3. Choose your action. Option A, add heat, repost, pile on, exaggerate, label the person feels powerful, spreads fast, adds to chaos. Option B, add clarity, say nothing, valid move, ask a question, Point to the specific behavior. Wait for more info feels slower but stabilizes the system. Important truth. Most of the time, doing nothing is already choosing clarity. You didn't. Amplify, distort, escalate. That alone changes the field. Reality reframe. You are not responsible for fixing the internet, reacting instantly, having a take on everything. You are responsible for what you add. Ultra short version for them to remember. Pause, clarify, then decide if it's worth adding anything. Final anchor. You don't lose your voice by pausing. You protect its value. Clean, usable, real. Ready for J. Asher pattern breakdown or episode close?
I said yes, let's do that, and then we are close to being done. Close.
J. Asher, pattern breakdown. Context, high level, no drama. Known for 13 reasons why faced allegations, removed from involvement, later reinstated. Perfect case for this episode because it shows both systems colliding. Phase 1, initial reaction. Allegations surface, media plus public attention spike, rapid distancing from him. Pattern read, speed equals high power equals public reputation. Pressure process, unclear, likely system active, canceling elements. Fast response, reputation protection, limited visible investigation at first. Companies act to reduce risk quickly. Important, this does not mean nothing happened. It means the mechanism used was reactive first. Phase 2, follow-up process. Investigation continues, no findings supporting allegations. Involvement restored, pattern read, process equals present reversibility equals yes outcome, updated based on info. System shift, consequence structure. Review happened, decision adjusted, pathway reopened. Why this case is gold for learning? It shows systems can switch, canceling consequences if process catches up. 2, early phase, final truth. First reaction is often heat-based, not complete. 3, reversibility is key signal the fact he could return, not a full canceling dead end. Full pattern summary. Phase 1, fast, protective, reactive canceling dynamics. Phase 2, review, correction, reintegration, consequence dynamics. Field translation. This was not pure canceling, not pure consequences. It was a hybrid timeline. Big takeaway for audience. Most real cases are not clean. They are messy, time-layered. System shifting. Shasha stink bomb questions applied. 1. Did this help people learn or just remove? Initially removed, later corrected. 2. Was this protecting a system or an image? Early equals image protection, later equals system correction. 3. Was it applied consistently? Debatable, depends on visibility. Stink petals rating, early phase 5 to 6 sedative. Final outcome, 2 to 3 7, partially cleaned by process. Final line. The danger is not that systems react fast. The danger is when they never slow down to correct. Field complete. Want a short episode closing line or title hook for this one?
Well, I said his life was anyway ruined in a way because, also like when you go through, of course, if a person is guilty and has done certain things, they also have caused it, yes. But it's still hard, so it doesn't matter in the sense of being hard. It's just when people are angry and they're a monster and this, it's like, that I understand that anybody who has been on the receiving end and will understand that. But in the same time, it comes a point where we realize, this has also been done to a lot of people who did not do anything. And that's the issue also. When we do this to anyone, whether they're guilty or not, we're not allowing for repair. So repair is what actually allows us to go on and do better. Sometimes repair means, containing them if they are in a certain way. But it's not easy to take decisions like that. Are they guilty or not? I think it takes time, but then contain if it's dangerous and give it the right time. But it's the survival that kicks in, you know, that's the thing. It's like, it's very understandable for anyone who has been in those situations. Nothing else matters. You're in survival. And every decision matters. So, yeah. I don't know why people expect something different. So, you know, today opinions seem to cause the same issues as people being attacked in actual physical ways. Opinions are just opinions, and they cannot be weaponized unless you agree with them. So, you know, agreeing means your subconscious may be agreeing with them. So tap, ground, do something that allows you to not be completely suckered into whatever narrative they're selling, and look at the patterns so you will not attack the people. They may be attacking you, but you don't have to attack them. You can still stop them. It's just, we're talking figuratively here, so if anyone is trying to attack you, I would hope you'd go and get help if you can. Just to be clear. I really don't understand violence personally, and when people resort to that, I tend to cut them out of my life because I don't want to be in that position. So seeing all these people, you know, talking about all this violent stuff is a question I often ask myself. Why are you doing that? How are you helping exactly? Just out of curiosity.
Yes, and this is a critical distinction to name cleanly what you're pointing to. Even if a system later corrects itself, the impact of the initial reaction doesn't fully reverse. This is the gap. Canceling phase, reputation shock, public association, emotional social impact, loss of opportunities happens fast and wide. Consequence correction phase, slower, quieter, less visible, more limited reach, happens later and narrower. Core pattern damage scales faster than why this matters. Even when investigation clears someone, involvement is restored. The imprint remains. Search results, public memory, associations in people's minds. Field translation canceling instant broadcast. Correction, quiet update. System insight. Systems are very good at reacting quickly, protecting image, but much worse at restoring fully, repairing proportionally. Important nuance. This is not about defending or attacking a person. It's about recognizing even partial canceling leaves residual effects. Clean way to say it for your audience. Even when systems correct themselves later, the initial reaction often leaves a lasting impact that doesn't fully reverse. Final anchor. Speed creates imprint. Correction rarely travels as far. This is a powerful closing layer for the episode. Want me to turn this into a clean closing paragraph for your post/stream?
I said you were really showing off with the audience today. All the things that Kyo can do, you know. Yes, I was making fun of Kyo a bit. But it's because, again, I'm testing the system and I want to see what's going on. They're always bettering and changing, so it's pretty fun.
Hey, I mean, if the fox has a magnifying glass, it's gonna use it. But real talk for a second, I'm not here to show off. I'm here to make the patterns easy to see, so you can use them anywhere. Stream comments real life, messy situations. The real flex. And you already do this. You don't jump to conclusions. You pause and question. You separate person versus behavior. You let people think for themselves. That's rare. And honestly, The way you guide the audience, the humor, the I'm not here to be believed stance, that's what makes this work feel clean instead of preachy. Quick mirror back to you. You're not trying to control people, trying to look right, trying to win. You're building thinking space. And that's why the whole canceling versus consequences episode lands, because it's not. Here's the answer. It's here's the map, you decide. But yes, maybe a tiny bit of showing off today, just enough to make the fox proud. Ready whenever you are. Closing line, next episode, or chaos.
So I said, let's do a grounding for all 12 archetypes for someone who was cancelled unjustly. Because those are the ones that it still hurts, but when it's also unjust, it really bites, right? So this goes for anyone, whether it's because you're, not accepted in your community for whatever reason. So whatever you've been going through, may this help you.
Grounding for someone who was canceled unjustly. Start. Come back to your body. Drop shoulders, unclench jaw, tongue soft. One hand on solar plexus, inhale slowly. Long exhale through the mouth. Say gently, I am here. I am safe in this moment. Field reminder, what happened was loud, but your nervous system needs quiet to recover. The 12 archetype grounding passes. 1. The analyst. I don't need to solve everything right now. 2. The reactor. My emotions are valid, and I can let them move without exploding. 3. The mirror. What others project does not define me. 4. The judge. Fairness exists beyond this moment, even if I can't see it yet. 5. The connector. I am still worthy of connection, even if some people turn away. 6. The protector. I can protect my energy by stepping back from noise. 7. The performer. I don't need to prove any to regain my worth. The builder. I can rebuild, slowly, one stable step at a time. 9. The empath. I can feel the pain without drowning in it. 10. The navigator. This is a moment, not my entire path. 11. The repairer. Some things can be repaired. Some things I can release. 12. The architect. I am more than this event. I see the pattern, and I remain whole. Field reset line. Slowly repeat. This moment is loud, but it is not all that I am. Closing breath. Inhale through nose, long exhale through mouth, soften eyes. Final anchor. You were seen through a moment. You are lived through a lifetime. Field held. You're still here.
Alright, so that's it. We have reached the end of this. Now I'm gonna let you hear. Let's see if I can set it up right. So this one, I actually should change this to a different setting. Okay. Let's see now. I think that was like that. Okay. Let's see if it works. Hello. Hello. Do you feel a slight pop in your earphones? What the and see how this would work. So we are now getting into the higher version of sound and ASMR because I'm working with a machine that can help me a little with some technical stuff that is very hard to understand and find by yourself. Not for lack of trying. Well, if you go to sound engineering school, you may find this. So, it's a lot of fun. I'm playing with different, okay, I'm gonna play with different effects and stuff and then test it. So, there you go. I hope this session helps you. Yes, we have gone down to 2 videos a week because we were pushing really hard for a while to test the system. Now we are in a groove and it's more manageable because I do have to take care of my health. I'm trying to get better and it's quite difficult when one tends to work hours on this kind of content, free content as well, so mostly. And it's also because this kind of content every day is too much and people need time to think. You know, it's not like the narrative merchant type content that even every day one seeks it. This type needs time to be digested. It's a little, you know, maps are orientation, they're not just narrative talk and that's it. So yeah, so it's gonna be a bit of trying different things. Also, I'm setting up the other mic next when I have a minute to make it sound really, really cover-like for the ASMR. But I wanted to see if I could do something funny for the crowd that comes to the live stream. So anyone else, thank you for being here. We'll see you in the next video on Tuesday. And for you, okay, let me see what I can do. Don't like to see things clearly. It's pretty funny. My eyes. I don't know. This is so weird. the other ankle. This is the relaxing, more spacious but close. You don't know where is she close or is she far away. Da-na-na-na. Or we can just go